What is up? Welcome to the NBA Rundown, brought to you courtesy Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. Starting a little late today, but we're still here with all the information you need to win in the National Basketball Association. Something we've done all year, Tyler, but not this week, man. You know, we're having one of those, right? Those Rocky moments, right? There's no Rocky movie if he just beats everybody from the beginning of the first movie. Right? We got to lose to Apollo, right? We got to have our tough times. This week's been our tough time so far. And you know what? We're not used to it because we've been doing so well. Like the NBA's almost just felt like a free square when it came to gambling for me. So we're definitely working our way through it. What are your thoughts on the association this week? What is going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy. I mean, we scraped barely some profit last night because we had both them plays of plus money. The DeJounte Murray 20 plus points, he goes for about 30. And they get outscored 34-16 in the fourth. So that sucked. Lose the game. But then we picked up the Booker over 5.5 rebounds of plus money. So we scraped like 1/10 of a unit of profit. So somehow, some way we scraped profit there, spread. But we're going to pick it up today.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't feeling good, but then, reminding myself, this business, right? Like, it's not just everything goes up, right? Like a normal job, you just show up, go to work, put your hours in, and ask for your check, right? Sometimes we face some struggles, but we're going to do it head on. And I'll tell you what, I'm excited for the challenge, right? I didn't expect to get every pick right all year, right? And just be puffing our chest after every show. You know who is puffing his chest, though, and well-deserved? Our guy, We the People, right? We thought that fatigue was going to catch up. The Raptors' conditioning was good. Easy cash. I don't know about that, but you got the cash.
Man,
and we do agree.
Done.
Tyler's awesome. And Podol was really rough for us last night. But let's dive right into tonight. Let me pull up Bookmaker because it's logged out on me. You're going to get the most up-to-date lines as we go over today's NBA card. The first one we've got on there, the Washington Wizards couldn't get it done for me last night, right? You guys you warned me last night, right? You and Travis both said, hey, Milwaukee's going to smash. In the third quarter, the Wizards were hanging tough. But at the end, I had 11.5. They lose by 14. They weren't able to cover. Now they're heading to Philadelphia, take on the 76ers. Embiid misses the last game. The team still wins. Andre Drummond, I would say he broke the slate, but everybody had him on his roster. So he free squared the slate with a great performance. But now Embiid is back. And this Wizards team, man, looks rough. One of the reasons I like them was their size. Thomas Bryant went out with an injury last night, kind of hurting them in the middle. So Gafford is back in the rotation. But that was kind of something I liked, was their ability to go big here. Dinwiddie did all right, but he's definitely not, like I said, has the opportunity to prove everyone should listen to him. Not necessarily taking care of that opportunity. On the flip side, Philadelphia, they're on a 5-game homestand. They're 4-0 so far. So they're trying to finish off a successful homestand. The number is about the same as last night, which surprises me when you factor in the Wizards' fatigue, right? I mean, that was a quick-paced game last night. Now they got to go to Philadelphia. Man, I mean, I don't know. Am I jumping off at the wrong time? Seems like a worse matchup for the Wizards, too. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking Philly here. I like Philly to blow them out this game. Embiid should just eat this team up. There's props for Drummond on DK. His rebounds are set at 7.5. The under's plus 110. I like the under there. He's hit that under in 3 of it, or where's it? I got it written down here somewhere. I got all my notes mixed up. My bad.
All right. Well, will you do that? Maybe we could start with I'm going to address the sob story while you look that up. Kevin, it's just because we're spoiled. We've been winning so much, right? Because he says, I must have paid attention at the right times. I played Booker over rebounds and Dosunmu assist and win. No, I mean, overall, we had like a pretty good night. But I mean, like, usually we're like texting each other like, man, almost flipped the board, like 6-1, 5-2, right? These really big nights. And last night, wasn't there. But yeah, I mean, we did get some things right. Just wasn't our best night. But I guess I overdid it on the sob story. Thank you for calling me out on that. Jonathan Nelson, I think that you and I will be hanging out tonight because I'm going to go ahead and jump on the live show with the keg. Tyler, did you find that?
Yeah, I'm good. I grabbed the wrong notepad before the start. I had yesterday's notes. So I looked down. I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, in his last couple games without Embiid, he's playing only 10 to 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. You think about it, Washington lost Bryant yesterday. They're going to play a bit smaller here. The guys coming off the bench are going to be like Denny, Rui. Drummond's only going to replace Embiid here in the lineup. He's not going to play more than 15 minutes. And in his games without him, he's had 5 rebounds, 7 rebounds, 11, 5, 7, 4, and 8. I'll gladly take a shot on that under 7.5 at plus money in this matchup with Embiid back because he's just not going to play the minutes. Yeah, I think the only way we get screwed is if it's blowout or Embiid gets hurt. Yeah,
I think the blowout is the issue. And also to clarify, Embiid wasn't necessarily hurt in the last game. That was more of like a scheduled rest spot.
Yeah, I know he was resting, but we know how easily he can go out of a game.
Right, he can, but I'm just saying it's not like, he's coming in with an injury that Doc's going to be monitoring, like a knee or an ankle or something to that effect. So, all right. Yeah, Wizards disappointed me last night. Something I noticed about that team, Tyler, Hachimura's not the same player, man. Whatever happened in his personal life for him to take all that personal time off, it's not over yet, or he's not over it yet, or it's not going to be until next season. I don't know. I mean, how disappointing, though, for the Wizards, right? They think they got this kid. They kind of reached for that pick. Now, right, and last year it looked pretty good. Now it looks like, man, this guy, maybe he's a reserve. So be interesting.
What's your thoughts on the total? I see our guy, We the People's, on the under.
Okay. I like the under, too, because I don't think the Wizards are going to get there for us.
Yeah, my only worry, though, is I could see Philly hanging a big number.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at this matchup between these two teams, last 10, they're averaging 230. The last 3, they're averaging 222. It was 117 to like 99 last game.
Yeah.
And that was with a ton of guys out. A ton of those guys are in here. So I think Philly might push this up over themselves.
Yeah. You know what? But Bradley Beal probably played in those games. I don't know because you did the research on that, not me. And let me just point something else out now. If the Wizards do not trade Bradley Beal, they're just stupid. They're just stupid. This team is not going.
Yeah, I don't know what they're holding out for. Like, he's not going to win a championship there. Like, you're just wasting him. Like,
and I don't think he's going to be that good. Like by the end of that extension, you want to give him 5 years. He's already declining right now at 28.
Yep.
You got to be kidding me. Sammy, our guy Sammy says.
I was about to say, how big of a night do we think Embiid has off the rest? Do we think he puts up 35? Do we think he puts up 40?
I assume. I mean, that's the player performance double we're going for, right? I mean, it's almost a no-brainer.
Yeah, 35 plus is plus 200. 40 plus is plus 40.
I'm worried about the blow-up. Is there a 30 or do we have to go 35?
No, got to go 35.
All right, that's what it is, though. Plus 200, huh?
Yep.
Start that at the beginning of the huge parlay.
The double-double and win is minus 170.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
it's probably fair. It's probably the right number, which is why I don't like it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about the Orlando Magic. Something we don't say very often. But they're going to head to Indiana, take on the Pacers. Lane, 4 points, total 225. Magic are plus 154 if you want to get froggy on that money line. Let me go ahead and look. Sabonis is still out, right? I checked
Sabonis out, Brogdon out, Gog out, O'Shea questionable, and Miles Turner out. Fultz and Hampton on the other side are out.
Dude, you know what I did this morning that was a bad idea, Tyler? Did you ever heard like Nate Duncan and those guys? They do that mock trade deadline show.
Yeah.
It's cool, right? Except for I can't listen to it in the morning because it filled my head with all these trades that didn't really happen.
Well, let me hear them.
We'll do that. We'll do that at a different time, maybe at the end of the show. I'll have to try and remember.
I take it some of these
I was trying to flush them out.
Yeah.
It was Miles Turner that I was thinking about that they had moved. But so the Magic, right? No RJ Hampton, no Markelle Fultz, but that means they do have Cole Anthony, right?
Yeah, do have Cole Anthony, do have Jalen Suggs.
I hate Ben on the Pacers, but I don't know. Do you like him here? What do you think?
I mean, it is a back-to-back for Orlando, but I mean, they're going to have the advantage inside. Carter and Bamba should have their way. And we've tried to do that with the Pacers before where we target them against teams that have smaller front courts. Well, now they're in the spot that they're going to have the smaller front court because they're not going to have any big men on the floor. Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of like Orlando. I'm not, like, running to bet it. Now, Franz Wagner's points prop at 16.5. I like that. He's hit that over 5 of his last 5. Mm-hmm. He's shooting very well, so we're just riding the hot hand here. And Indiana's given up 27 points per game to opposing small forwards. They ain't playing any defense. He could easily rack up 20 points here, so I like that prop.
All right, what do you think of Karis LeVert tonight?
I mean, he could have a decent game. He just hasn't performed well ever since he came back.
Yeah.
So it's like he just hasn't put up those crazy games.
He's had a couple good games.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's one game he scored a ton in the fourth quarter. It's either against the Lakers or the Suns.
He's more like a proceed with caution guy for me. Like, I'm not betting him. I want to see how he does. If he starts to pick it up, then we'll start to target him.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a DFS guy on today, but I would guess that they would say he's like a GPP only guy, right? The high upside.
Yeah, definitely high upside, but like he
in
could
a cash
definitely
game,
go
he
off
can
have like
sink
a
you.
crazy triple-double game, but he could also kill you at the same time.
In a cash game, he could sink you. So I'll be interested to see what those guys say on the Hardwood Live Show, brought to you by Run Pure Sports. If you're not a member, head on over, use the promo code GETBETS to become a member. The Charlotte Hornets plus 5.5 now, Tyler. This opened at 4. The Celtics are taking money. The total's 224. It's in Boston. LaMelo Ball. It's going to be guarded by Marcus Smart. How does that matchup work out? What are your thoughts, Tyler?
I mean, are we 100% sure he's going to be guarded by him? Because they could easily put Marcus Smart on Terry Rozier. We know the little rivalry there. They used to play together.
Ooh.
Rozier, they could just take away
But that's
his
just
free
stupid.
game.
If you take away Rozier, like let's say I take the 5.5. If I see Smart on Rozier, am I really worried about not covering?
I mean, I like Charlotte here. Because, I mean, Boston has been running wild, like, very well here. But you look at the teams they beat up on. They beat a Miami team who didn't have anyone in their rotation. They lost a bunch of guys right before the game started. They beat up on, I think it was a bad OKC team. And they beat up on somebody else that's a bottom 3 team. So it's like they've just been beating up on these bad teams. They beat up on your Kings. That was the team I was thinking.
Yeah.
So
what does that mean?
Yeah.
That's like beating the Santa Cruz.
I think Charlotte's a more well-built team here. Even if they put Marcus Smart on LaMelo, I like his assist over 7.5 at plus money. Okay. He had 9 against them earlier in the year and 10 against them in the other game this year. Mm-hmm. And he's hit that 6 of his last 9. So like that prop. And I'm going to sprinkle the money line here too, because I think they could easily pull off this win.
Yeah, I like the money line here too. So, but I definitely like the 5.5, especially because the market loves the Hornets. Gordon Hayward's out. Like what? We don't get the Travis Mangone Hayward revenge angle. I'm not really too worried about that. I see Dennis Schrader, Robert Williams, Kelly Oubre all probable. And you know, when I originally capped this game, I thought Oubre would be out. So the fact that he could play, I think he helps that team a lot, man. No matter what he does for the box score over the DFS, he's a good defender, right? And for whatever reason, he was lost in Golden State. I don't know. I can make some bad jokes and speculate, but I will not. So yeah, I really like Charlotte here. Anything else on this game before we move on?
No, that's it for me. I mean, maybe you sprinkle LaMelo Ball did triple-double against this team.
Uh-huh.
He could maybe do it again here. His number is plus 850, so that's a bit low for me. Maybe if it was like 11-1, I'd play it, but could.
And I remember what I was umming about to try and keep on this game. It's because how do you beat the Boston Celtics, right? Or the Charlotte Hornets, I mean. You go down low. I don't think Boston necessarily has.
Yeah, Boston can't really go down low. They're going to try and shoot with them on the outside.
Right, because these guys, right, especially every guy comes on, right, they're targeting bigs against the Hornets, and maybe Robert Williams has a big night, right, and maybe Al Horford gets it done, but it's just not like the ideal matchup like some of these other guys have. So we are in agreement on taking the points with the Hornets. Is anything out of order today, bookmaker? Wow, we're back in order. Thank you. You know what I think it is? I think it was those. A lot of those games were makeup games. But
yeah, anyways, I think that's where they got you at.
Yeah, and so they're out of order on the rotation number. The Memphis Grizzlies are minus 3.5 in Madison Square Garden against your home team, New York Knicks, who trade for Cam Reddish and don't play him. What's going on with that, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I don't get that at all. He's not even on the injury report anymore. Like, they tried to say he was hurt at first, and now they're just not playing him.
It's just weird.
I got nothing on that one. I don't know what they're doing. But as for this game spread, you got to take Memphis here. Knicks can't defend point guards. They've been bad against them all year. Mm-hmm. After their blow up against the Philadelphia 76ers second unit and they couldn't pull that win off, you even heard John Morant say it after the game. If he's like, if there's anyone to blame me. He's definitely putting up big stats here in the Garden. Mm-hmm. I like a minus the 3.5. They're going to win this game spread.
Yeah, I really like that one too. I agree with you. Knicks team, man. I mean, yeah, they beat the Kings, right? Whoop-de-doo. They beat them by 20. Whoop-de-doo. They're 2-6 in their last 8 games, right? There's just not a team that's just not playing well. And like I said, it just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't it seem like they need Cam Reddish? Didn't it seem like he was going to be perfect for Tibbs? Because he's not a defensive liability, yet he can create his own shot. Like, this is what I don't know. I really don't know what to do. But until they figure it out, I'm not betting on them. So I'm with you. I'm with the Grizzlies. Total 217. What are your thoughts on the total? Is there any props that I'm missing?
Yeah, I mean, gonna pretty much stay away from the total. If you want to, I see John Morant's assist prop is 6.5, but it's juiced all the way to minus 140. Yeah. I'm not laying that, but you could do the alt assist on FanDuel. 8+ is plus 130, and if you think he's good enough for a double-double, 10+ assists is plus 340.
Wow.
And then, of course, take his points over 27.5 because I think he's putting up a 30-piece here. And 30+ in Memphis wins is plus 280. Yep.
So we got what?
The plus 280.
What's the first one that we wanted to put in there? The very first game we're doing the
Embiid 35 plus.
I mean,
yeah, Embiid.
Well, at a certain point, these guys aren't even going to have to watch the show, Tyler. I mean, if they're not going to change the numbers on this, why would we stop betting them?
Mm-hmm. I mean, they just leave them right there for us.
Yeah. What were you asking?
No, I wasn't asking anything.
Okay, cool. We'll move to the next game. Then the Cleveland Cavaliers are -5 in Houston. Against the Rockets. Rockets lost 10 consecutive home games, Tyler. How does that happen in the National Basketball Association? And it's not like they're in Oklahoma City where there's nothing to do. They're in Houston. You don't think NBA players want to visit there? How are they not taking advantage of that? How are you approaching this game?
It's going to sound crazy, Spread, because Houston doesn't play any defense. Mm-hmm. But Cleveland can't score without Garland. Like, I know Rondo can set up an offense.
Yeah.
But like Garland was actually spacing the floor, doing some shooting. The total's 218.5. I got to take the under here.
Wow.
Because Cleveland's just going to lock in on defense. They're going to try and put up like 108 points here and still win the game. Mm-hmm. And I don't see Houston really putting up that much of a fight. And they're just going to get locked down. So Okoro is going to take out one of the wings. Wood's not going to have any success on the inside. And that really doesn't leave much else for him. So Cleveland wins.
Green can score against anybody.
Not against Okoro.
You think it would
not yet in his career.
But if Okoro goes to Green, wouldn't KPJ piece? I would think Green would play. I mean, Okoro would play KPJ.
I mean, he could bounce back and forth, so we can see how that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Jared Allen double and win. Cleveland wins plus 150. Mm-hmm. Other than the under, that'd probably be my only play in this game. But for the most part, I'm going to stay away from it. Don't want to really back Cleveland without Garland.
Yeah. All right, I'm with you there. Tyler definitely likes the under 218.5. Let's move to the Thunder. Plus 12.5 in Dallas against the Mavericks. Total is only 206.5. You're giving me 12.5 on a 206.5 total with the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are second in the NBA at 30-17 against the spread. Tyler, like, why would I not take the Thunder here? I know Alexander's out, so no, I didn't forget that. Josh Giddey, that's fine. Let this kid develop. I think it's a great spot for the Thunder. What do you think?
Robert makes a good point in the chat. KPJ versus his old team for the first time. We might want to take Houston's money line here, Fred. He might flip me on this game. That might flip me on this game.
Appreciate that. All right. We're going to send that to Travis in case he's not watching right now.
As for the Dallas OKC matchup you were talking about, I mean, again, don't want to back OKC. I know they screwed us the other night without SGA. I just can't see how they do it again here. Dallas is a lot better on defense. OKC's team total is definitely a look, I think. It's going to be in the 90s because how low this total is. You get 96.5. I still don't think they get there with how good a Dallas defense is.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we're disagreeing there.
And then I like the over on Luka's rebounds at 9.5 because they don't have a big man on the inside to stop him. And I think he definitely gets double-digit rebounds in this spot. The only way he doesn't get there is if they blow him out and he sits.
Okay. With the Luka one, I'm with you there. I don't know, man. This Dallas defense, I don't know if I'm ready to buy into it yet. It's one of those things. They look good on the numbers. It almost reminds me of the Knicks last year, right?
But how much do they have to stop here? Like, there's not much. Like, if they're any bit worth of a good defense, like, you could stop this team.
Okay, that's a good point. I'll grant you that. That's a really good point. I don't know. Maybe I'm too high on Giddey, right?
I mean, Giddey is really good, but he's just not like an offensive force. I mean, he sets up everyone else.
He does set other people up, though, right? And these are still NBA players, right? They're not. I mean, they're as close to the G League as you can get, but I still like Williams, right? Lou Dort can sometimes knock down an open shot, get to the rim. I don't know. I like the Thunder here. Maybe it's because they've won me so much money in the past, and I'm just not sold on the Mavericks yet. I just think they're kind of in a good stretch, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'd love to see, like, do they have, like, the shooting luck percentage? Is that one of the advanced stats, right? Like, where the Knicks were the best at it last year, or,
Yeah.
the most favorable because opponents were just missing wide open threes the most often. Feels like the Mavericks' recent defensive success has kind of come in that vein, not to mention they recently lost Tim Hardaway Jr., who should weaken the defense because say what you want about Hardaway Jr., but I thought he always did a good job checking his man on the front. I just don't trust this team. I don't know. I'm not sold on that. Their rim protection, Porzingis in and out of the lineup. I think he makes the defense weaker. I think he missed a lot of time during this time that they've just run up these incredible defensive stats. I'm still with the Thunder here, and I think they get over your team total. So that's one of the few ones we'll disagree on tonight. So I can't interest you in this plus 700 on the Thunder money line.
No, I'm not seeing it. Especially when they're like the worst. They're like the worst defense this year against point guards. Like Luka's gonna absolutely feast against his team.
No, I mean they're 2-12 straight up last month. So I mean, I'm not really getting there either. I just figured I'd throw that out there. But I do think they keep it close.
I mean, how often do we see this prop this low? Luka Doncic triple double, Dallas win plus 285. Usually those are like plus like 600.
Well, yeah, because you're basically just essentially betting the triple double.
Yeah, if you just want to bet it's just triple double this game, it's plus 190.
I mean, they're minus 1,000 on Bookmaker right now.
Yeah, right? I see minus 900 on FanDuel.
Yeah, so all right, let's move to the next one. We'll disagree on that one. Someone will get the bragging rights tomorrow because we, the people's, got all the bragging rights this week, right? We got to get back on here somehow. So one of us will be able to jump back in. Let's talk about the Denver Nuggets catching 3.5 against the Utah Jazz. Weird line to me. Oh, it's my fantasy basketball club. I closed it on accident. Rudy and Donovan are still out while we pull this back up, right? Are you with me, Tyler? Is Rudy and Donovan?
Yeah, I was on mute. That was my fault. They are both still out. Whiteside's out. Trent Forrest questionable. Jordan Clarkson questionable. Daniel House out. On the other side, Gordon, Jokic, DeMarcus Cousins all questionable.
Any chance Jokic sits? Everyone thought he was going to sit against. Who was that? It was after they crushed Milwaukee. Who was
that was last night, wasn't it?
Yeah. Who did they play against? And they ended up losing, and it wasn't even close.
The Timberwolves. They lost by 15. He played 30 minutes.
Thank you for jumping in. It's my mom's birthday. I wasn't watching all of the games last night. Yeah. Zane, do you think he plays tonight? Right? I mean, they've thrown this questionable on him.
There's props up for him, so I think he plays.
Okay. So you think he plays? We know that Gobert and Mitchell are going to be missing, and we know this team can't defend. So who's playing center for the Jazz?
To be honest with you, Spread, I don't know.
It's not going to be Rudy Gay, is it? How are we not taking the Nuggets here? This line doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Even if
this line is telling me Jokic
it's an ugly game. Even if he's out, it's an ugly game. But I think Will Barton, Monty Morris, and these guys can will past the Jazz. Like, they don't have Mitchell in these guys. It's basically just a bunch of wings running around out there trying to score on each other. Joe Ingles is now done, so it's like they lost another guy.
Wait, he's out for the year?
Yeah, he tore his ACL.
When was that?
Over the weekend.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry, NFL had my attention this weekend. Wow, Joe Ingles is done. So all those fake trades they were talking about, that's why they think they need another person there.
Yeah.
That makes some sense now, like why they kept trying to get Jeremy Grant and stuff in the little fake trades for Utah.
Yeah, so basically be Conley, O'Neal, Bogdanovich, Pascal, Rudy Gay, and then just a bunch of G League guys.
Eric Pascal's season. Okay. I just want to bet the Nuggets. This line just says to me that Jokic isn't playing.
It does.
Can I just bet it right now? If Jokic doesn't play, the bet is sunk, though, right?
I don't think so. I think they can still beat him.
Really? Okay.
I mean, it's just a battle of a bunch of the bums out there. Mike Conley's probably the best player on the floor, and he's probably not that far ahead of like a guy like Will Barton at this point.
Mike Conley graduated the high school the same year as me.
Yeah, so that's probably my look in that game is Denver. I'm taking Denver regardless if Jokic plays. You got to take it now, though, because if he plays, they're going to be minus 3.5.
That's crazy that line's right there. Yeah, that really is shocking to me. Yeah, we'll take. Hey, this is a gambling show.
This could be the third day in a row that we step on a trap. Like
I don't care.
Memphis, Spurs, then this one.
You're right. I don't care. This is a gambling show. Like I'm taking the bet. If he doesn't play well,
the trap of all traps is the next game. Probably looking at the line.
The Brooklyn Nets are in town, man. I should go out tonight. Maybe I'll run into Kyrie. We can burn some sage together. I won't offer him any shots, even if we're out drinking. They're in Sacramento. They're laying 4. They lost by 10. I wouldn't say they got embarrassed. There was a time in that game I thought they were going to cover. This is so different though, Ty. This is like when you're playing 2K and you move it from like all pro to rookie as far as going against this Kings defense. These guys are going to be able to get whatever they want tonight. I think your only issue would be fatigue, but the fact that they've lost 7 in a row, like who's the better get right team in the NBA? Gosh, what was the stat I read? Teams average like 4 to 5 points higher against the Kings for their points per game this season. I mean, they're just a terrible team. They're the ultimate get-right team. I like the Nets here. Am I SpongeBob SquarePants? Am I being too square here, Tyler? What do you think?
No, I mean, I like them too. We talked about the last line screaming Jokic is going to sit.
Mm-hmm.
If these two guys are going to play, how's this line 4.5 spread? They
played last night and the Kings didn't.
I mean, I guess so, but still, like, they're both going to play. It says Harden's in right here playing. There's no Kyrie Irving news, so
Kyrie's got to play. He gets half the games off anyways.
Yeah, so I got to take Brooklyn here minus the 4. I think they blow them out.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving over 26.5 points. I like that because the point guards just don't put up any defense against anyone that plays the Kings. And Harden's assist prop, of course, he's going to get double-digit assists here probably. Yeah. It's 10.5, so we got to get to 11, but I like that over 10.5 at plus money.
And we the people might be showing off some six-pack abs here. He's going for his 3rd victory lap of the week over the panel. He says Sack wins. No argument on the over for me there. We the people, but we will be on opposite
over
sides.
For sure.
Yeah. Love the over. That might be my favorite play on the board. Spoiler alert. Let's talk about the Portland Trailblazers, who were minus 2.5 this morning. They are now plus 4 in LA against the Lakers. Total 223. Did we get LeBron news? Is that what happened? No, he's still doubtful. Anthony Davis, probable. Malik Monk, probable. Anthony Simons, probable. Yusuf Nurkic, probable. Larry Nance is still out. CJ Ellaby, I don't even know if I've watched him play. And Trendon Watford, okay. Excuse my knowledge for not being up on their games. Doesn't mean a lot to me. I didn't know what to make, man. Originally, I thought, I kind of think that Brooklyn's a get-right game for them, right? This is a get-right game for the Lakers. What were they 1-4 on that road trip? I mean, it wasn't very good at all. 2-3, whatever it wasn't good. They got to be thinking they want to get things right. I've not been playing well without LeBron in the lineup. It's so funny, when people want to put Anthony Davis like in this like top conversations. It's like, no, LeBron's still the reason that team wins, right? And we're seeing it right now. Now, to be fair, this was a bunch of road games, and NBA teams do struggle on the road. So maybe he rips off 6 in a row on this homestand, and I'm going to eat my words next week. And Jonathan Nelson is victory lapping in the chat. But, I really don't know what to make of this game. Long story short. I guess I would lean towards taking the points, but if the Lakers win by 15, would you be that surprised? And AD just drops like 30 and 15?
No, because it's a great matchup for him. Like, this is the spot where he does that. Like, his points probably 25.5. I love the over there. The thing worries me about the rebounds is like they're probably going to put another big man on the floor next to him that night with no LeBron. He's going to be like, I don't want to play center. They'll be like, all right, we'll put Howard out there to guard Nurkic or Jordan.
Yeah, they should.
That's he'll draw one of the smaller guys and just absolutely dominate them. So definitely like his points over. I can't bet a side in this game spread. Like, Portland's been bad on the road. Do you really want to back LA without LeBron? Like, no. I just can't. So that's my only look in this game is the Davis props.
I think Davis eats. I think he's going to have a big night tonight. Like you said, it's a terrible matchup for him. The way that Portland would cover or win outright to me is they turn it into a track meet, and, their guys out on the perimeter are just on fire, right? CJ, Powell, Simons, they're all getting hot, and Avery Bradley can't guard all of them. That would be the path to me that I'd see Portland getting to victory. That's a lot, right? That's like, playing a tough parlay, right? Because you need 3 streaky guys to be hot, right?
Yep.
Simons, I think maybe you can argue that he's been pretty consistent, but he is coming off the injury here. And CJ and Powell are just, talk about GPP, no cash games. They're real boom or bust players. So definitely a pathway to Portland getting the win. We all know teams do get up to play in LA. This will be the featured game on ESPN tonight, so they know it's a national TV game. I don't know how much that means to them, but the fact that they're in LA, I think, means a lot. So I'm really torn on this game.
Yeah, I mean, if you pin me down, I would take the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just not putting any of my own money on this game tonight, other than the Davis props.
Yeah, I like the Davis prop. And I think I'm the same way, right? If we were picking every game or we wanted to do a parlay where we picked every game against the spread, I'd probably end up falling on the Lakers side because it just seems to me like it's more plausible. AD has a huge night. They get out to a 10, 15-point lead early, and they're able to just cruise, right? And it doesn't matter what Westbrook does, right? Or he probably has a big night too, right?
He should absolutely feast on these guards.
This isn't this is not a good defensive team. Maybe the over is the way to look at this.
Yeah, I like the over because Westbrook's going to push the pace also. He's going to get up.
Only 223. Only 223. All right, Tyler, we did it. We made it through the card, and we did it in good fashion too, giving the people plenty of time to enjoy their afternoon. Best bets, it's time. What's your best bet for the day, side total or prop?
My best bet on the prop is going to be that Drummond under 7.5 rebounds. Okay. I just like the matchup. I don't think he's going to see much time on the floor. I think it's going to be like 10 to 13 minutes. If he grabs 8 rebounds in those 10 to 13 minutes and beats me, so be it. And then as for the sides, I'm going to take Memphis against spread. I think they bounce back and smash the Knicks here. Give me a minus 3.5.
I really like that. So many good options tonight. It's funny. I didn't really like it when I first looked at it, but after talking to you, I feel like we found some better spots. Boy, I do like the Thunder, but you kind of didn't really agree with me there. Let's find one that we both liked. Let's go with the Brooklyn Nets. Why would we not continue to fade the Kings?
Yep.
I mean, this team is just a disaster. It's a disaster. And hey, Brooklyn might be overlooking them if they were playing well. They've lost 7 in a row. I mean, this team needs a win, right? There's nothing worse, right? Can you imagine, right? They're like, oh, spread, you can't get it done without Tyler, right? You can't get it done without Tyler, right? Like, you need Tyler. Like, that's what they're hearing about Kevin Durant, right? Oh, you guys are supposed to be stars. How come you can't win when Kevin Durant's not in the game? So obviously it has been a tough road trip for them as well. Don't want to make too much of these road trips, but regardless, the narrative remains they are in Brooklyn. That's not the easiest media to get along with. Not the biggest fan base, though. I noticed even when they were doing good last season, Tyler, like their subreddit's like dead, right? It's like even the Pacers has more chatter, right? And they're absolutely terrible too.
Yeah.
We, the people, we got to give him his props. We got to read this one out because he's been doing so well. He said he likes Philly in the under and Memphis by 6, so he agrees. And he might even take the minus 10 alternate spread. Yeah. Hey, I think you found a good way to approach this game, and I think it is a good spot. Reminder, the show is brought to you by Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. Head on over to runpuresports.com. Use the promo code GETBETS to become a member. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Tyler.
We got a 26-1 we can give out.
I know, but see, I do the spiel because I know that they want to hear it. So I'm going to do it before.
I thought you were about to end it, so I had to stop.
I was not, but I just figured I got to get the spiel in before we give out the huge parlay because people want the huge parlay, so I got to get it out beforehand.
Yeah, I'm about to say this one's just going to be a 26-1. We're going to go with that Embiid 35-plus points, Philly wins.
Love it.
Morant 30-plus points, Memphis wins.
Got it.
Kyrie 25-plus points, Brooklyn wins.
I got it. And that's how much?
26-1.
So I put 100 down. I'm going to get $2,600 tomorrow morning when I wake up. I like it.
As long as we
Great job.
As long as all their guys get our points and they win the game.
I love it, Tyler. I really think that we found some good spots today. I'll be honest, when I ran the numbers, a lot of my numbers were really close to the lines. It was almost frustrating this morning where I'm like, okay, am I just like, are these guys just like hacking into my thing and making the lines the same? Right. But I feel like after talking through it, we did found some great edges. And of course, I love the chat, right? When we, the people, love Memphis, I love it even more. He's been doing great this week. And you know what? Like I said, gave a little sob story, but we haven't been doing half bad either. Tyler, love to hear it. Love to see it. We will be back tomorrow with JSU. And Tyler, it's going to be tough tomorrow because it's not just a 2-game slate. We got 6 games tomorrow.
Oh, we got 6 games tomorrow.
Yeah, we got 6 games and we have JSU. We might not be able to just do the free flowing podcast as much. But if you have any topics, that's the day that we kind of verve off course. Throw them in the chat either today or at the beginning tomorrow, and we will try and address them. Oh, one more question. Oh, I'm glad I remembered. Kevin, I hope you are still watching. He just bet the T-Wolves at Caesars to win the Northwest Division at 45-1. They are 4 games back, and every time I watch them, they look amazing. Let's pull up the Northwest Division.
Yeah, I gotta look and see who's all in that division.
Actually, I think those division markets, though, it's a good market. It's something that's kind of untapped. And also you have a long time.
Spread that is a very good bet. They're just like you said, they're 4 games back. The Jazz are number 1.
Right.
Not knowing how much longer these 2 guys are going to be out, and they don't look like a very good team. They could keep falling.
Right.
The Nuggets or Jokic or bust. So like they get Russell back and go on a nice little run, they could easily be in first.
Yeah, I mean at 45-1, a lot of times when you put these up and they're well thought out, it's really hard to argue. But when you specifically look at it and break it down like that, I think he did find a good spot. So, obviously you spent more time doing a little more research than you, but just a quick glance, Kevin, I think you made a great bet here.
I like it.
45-1. Yeah. So that's a lot of fun. So anyways, just an example of how we try to interact here at Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. Enjoy hanging out with everybody. We will be back tomorrow.